Yeah, I'm back with another video. I wanted to talk about one more thing, something else that just came to me. I'm telling y'all, I've really been getting a lot of channels lately, from the cosmos. I had made a video on my other channel before it was terminated, and I was talking about a video that I saw, and there was this Indian, guru who was talking about, what was going to take place on the planet in the next 50 to 100 years. And he was saying that, one thing that he said was that there was going to be a lot of mass suicides in large numbers. And I think I stopped the video right there and I started channeling information of my own. And I've even gotten a little bit more information since I made that video on my old channel. But the reason people, let's just say this, people are committing suicide now. But he was saying that in 50 to 100 years, there's going to be more mass suicides in larger numbers. And here's why. Here's why that's going to happen. The reason that's going to happen is because people are going to start becoming awakened to the fact that they are in they're not going to know it literally, but their soul is going to speak to them. Their subconscious mind is going to speak to them. And they're going to start figuring out that something is not right. Their soul is going to become tired of being in this world. And then they're going to, with new information coming out every day, for those people who are interested in it about how religion, they're going to figure out that religion has failed them. Religion has lied to them. All of the dogma and all of the stuff that their ancestors were taught, their parents, all of that stuff is going to it's going to collapse. And it's going to drive people insane. In conjunction with, people are going to start realizing something within their soul and their spirit that, that this is somewhat of that this planet is a prison. So they're going to want to release themselves from this prison. So what they're going to do, they're going to start, committing mass suicide. Because society is going to get to a place where things are very unbearable and where individuality is going to be practically outlawed. Individuality will be practically outlawed. I don't mean literally outlawed, but what I mean is that individuality will be a thing of the past. Everyone will practically be thinking, acting, and doing the same, doing the same thing, cut from the same cookie cutter, or cut from the same dough, or whatever you call it. You know what I'm talking about. And people are going to be so fed up with it. They're fed up with it now. But now everything, all of the groundwork is being laid now for what is to happen 50 to 100 years from now. You see it now. You see it through, what people find attractive. A lot of heterosexual men, they find women attractive that are 30 years old, but have the bodies of 14 and 15-year-old girls. Come on now. No 30-year-old woman should look like a 14 or 15-year-old girl. That's crazy. If I was a man who was heterosexual, I would not want a woman that looks like a little girl. I would want a woman that has big breasts and a big ass. But slowly and surely, they are interjecting this, this pedophile agenda into this, culture as well. So you see how they are trying to destroy individuality. They're trying to destroy a person's individuality. And if you don't think along with the collective, you're not part of the in crowd. They want everyone to look alike. They want everyone to think alike. And then another thing, they are getting rid of a lot of the people and a lot of the things that, how can I put this? It's hard for me to put it in words, but they're getting rid of a lot of the things and people that give out that soul energy. Let me just say it that way. That give out that good soul energy. Things that bring calmness to you, things that bring harmony and balance, because they want everything to be artificial. You know, they rob you of your energy and they want everything, they replace it with artificial energy. That's what mind control is all about. You know, people think that mind control is some kind of apocalyptic thing. No, it is very simple. Mind control is about removing your consciousness and replacing it with an artificial consciousness. And that's what's taking place, and that is going to become more prevalent in the future. And when it becomes more prevalent in the future, people are going to begin to question their existence. And they're going to be able to question, you know, this planet and what this planet really is. You know, I've seen the web around this planet that keeps people trapped. I've seen it. When I've astrally traveled out of my body, I've seen it. This planet is not round. It is not round. And that's all I'm going to say on that. It is not round. I've remembered some of the dreams and astral travels I've had. This planet is not round. Not at all. So when they say that, you know, flat earth and all that, they're right. I don't know if it's necessarily flat, but I tell you one motherfucking thing, it ain't no fucking round. And sometimes I wonder if this is a planet at all. Could this just be a fucking space station that we're living on? Because there was a movie that came out in 2013 called Elysium with Jodie Foster and Matt Damon. And the plot line in it was the rich people and the elite people, they lived on a space station called Elysium, and they had an artificial sun, they had artificial trees. It was just like living on Earth, but they had access to clean water. They had beautiful life, you know. They had high sophisticated technology. The Earth had deteriorated to a place of total environmental destruction. So the poor people had to live on Earth, because if you didn't have enough money or enough, you know, status, you couldn't live on Elysium. And, you know, Elysium is also the name of the Elysian Fields, which is a paradise for people that people went to in Greek mythology. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Cronus was the god over Elysian Fields, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong about that, but I think it's Cronus. So there in that movie, they were subliminally trying to lift Jodie Foster up in that, you know, in that energy of Cronus, or whatever the case may be, as a Titan. But anyway, that's another story. But basically what I'm saying is that people are going to begin to wake up. And there's going to be a mass awakening, more than today. And people are going to start figuring out that this planet is a prison. And once they figure that out, they're going to do everything in their power to escape it. But see, here's the problem. When you kill yourself, if you don't really have, you know, the genetics and the knowledge on how to not have to come back to this place, then you're going to incarnate back into this world anyway in another body. They've shown you subliminal messages about this in different television shows. For example, American Horror Story, The Coven. I always like to use that as an example. That was my favorite season, by the way. The Coven, the character of Misty Day. See, when they did the Seven Wonders, which is they were trying to find out who the next head supreme witch was. When Misty Day, I think the second task was the descent into the Netherrealm, which was their own personal hells. And Misty Day got trapped. And see, that's the thing. Misty Day was a witch. She was a powerful witch. She was a good witch for all intent and purposes. But when she descended into the nether realm, she perished. She got trapped. But that's just symbolic of descending into the earth plane, into the cycle of reincarnation. That's all that was symbolic of, because what happened was when she descended into the nether realm, she got caught in a cycle, because what happens is every one of them that went into the nether realm, they were faced with their own worst fears and their own personal hell. Misty Day's personal hell was she hated to kill living things. So she went back to a time when she was a child in biology, and she had to dissect a live frog, and she kept bringing the frog back to life. And she was caught in that constant cycle of having to kill the frog, and then she would bring it back to life, and then one of her classmates would say, Mr. So-and-so, she did it again, and he would come over, some mean old man, teacher, he would come over and make her kill the frog, and then she would bring it back to life. So she was caught in that cycle. That's symbolic of reincarnation, of being caught in the cycle of having to come back into this hell. That was symbolic of that as well, you know. So what's going to happen in the next 50 to 100 years is that people are going to awaken, and they're not going to like what they see. But the groundwork for everything that's going to happen in 50 to 100 years, it's being laid right now. It's being laid now. People are going to realize, they're going to slowly begin to realize in the next 50 to 100 years that this planet is a prison. People know it now, but in 50 to 100 years, people are going to really begin to understand it, and they're going to want to escape. So that will be the cause for a lot of the mass suicides that are going to probably take place. That's going to be the reason behind it, you know. But anyway, that's all I wanted to say on that. I wanted to talk about that because that actually just came to me too. That was just channeled to me about, you know, the reason behind, you know, the mass suicides. People are going to be tired of incarnating into this prison. And because they don't have the spiritual knowledge and the understanding as to how to escape this place, they're going to commit mass suicide. And what's going to happen is they're just going to incarnate again. It's going to be a constant cycle until they finally understand how to get out of this place. You know, and it has nothing to do with being a nice person. Misty Day was a nice person and she got trapped. Okay, I just told you that. It has nothing to do with smiling all the time. It has to do with knowledge and wisdom and execution, and how to get out of this prison. And I'm not just speaking for the masses of people. I'm speaking for myself too. You know, I'm speaking for myself too. So anyway, that's all I have to say about that. 50 to 100 years from now, people will start to awaken, and they will just realize that this planet, they'll begin to realize more and more that this planet is a prison. And it's just going to be a reaction behind that, and that's going to be the cause for the mass suicides.